People around the world don't like Americans. They think we are overprivileged. They think we are uppity. They think we have money and don't know what to do with it. And the list goes on and on and on. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Anani. If you are new here, welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. I do appreciate having you. Please consider subscribing below to join our community. If you are returning, welcome back. How are you, family? I hope you're doing well. Hope your day is treating you kindly. Today's video, we will be discussing an important topic, and that topic is going to be how to conduct yourself when you are traveling abroad. I think sometimes when traveling, we forget that we are guests. We are guests in somebody's home, and it is important to be the best house guest that you can be. So with all that being said, let's get into the video. So one of the things that is very important to know when traveling abroad is to be mindful of how you are taking your pictures, how you are taking your videos, and things of that nature. I'm going to base this information kind of off of when I traveled to Jamaica. For those of you that don't know, I actually have bought a house in Jamaica, and I do plan on moving there at the beginning of 2025. If you guys want to see that video, the link will be somewhere on this video. But yes, I'm going to base a lot of this on that, but it still can be universally applied. I know that when you are traveling, everything seems like art, everything seems like something new, everything seems like something amazing, and you just want to take out your camera and capture the picture. But do be courteous and do be cognizant. People are just trying to live their day-to-day lives. Like I say, to a visitor, it seems like art. You're like, oh my gosh, these people are walking, take a picture. Oh my gosh, these people are eating, take a picture. But be mindful. Like if somebody was coming and visiting your country and they had their phone and camera in your face, like that would be very annoying. That would be very annoying and very inconsiderate as well. And one thing that I do in order to capture the moment but still be respectful and courteous is I'll capture things that are inconspicuous. So what do I mean by that? Or undiscernible. So if I'm taking a picture of a crowd, I take it like with their backs facing, so you know it's not their face or defining features, things like that. Or like say for instance, when I was in Jamaica, I was playing a dominoes game and I thought the domino game was artful and amazing and beautiful. And so what I did, instead of holding the camera in somebody's face, I took a picture of the hands, and the hands, how they were holding the dominoes and things of that nature. So get creative and try not to be so conspicuous. Like try not to be so in people's faces. Another thing too that I would definitely say, in order to kind of respect people's way of life and culture when you're visiting their country, is to do your best to try to get familiar with kind of the language of where you're visiting. Now of course I know you are not going to learn the entire dictionary, sort of a thing, but do familiarize yourself with kind of maybe common phrases and things like that. When I was in Jamaica, obviously they speak English, but it is patois. It is like patois, so it's English with some flavor. Some of the phrases and things that they were saying, like it took me a minute to like fully understand, and I had to kind of ask, okay, I'm sorry, could you repeat that? I'm sorry, could you repeat that? And they were very nice, very welcoming, very understanding. But yeah, just try to look and just see, like if you can kind of familiarize yourself with greetings or, you know, exit phrases and stuff like that, because I do think it goes a long way to kind of put that foot forward. Another thing that is great to know, now this is going to be for my fellow Americans. When you are traveling, when you are going to other countries, I'm going to put this as blunt as I possibly can, just so that we all understand each other. People around the world don't like Americans. People around the world don't like Americans. They think we are overprivileged. They think we are uppity. They think we have money and don't know what to do with it. They think we are rambunctious. They think we are uncultured. And the list goes on and on and on. Now, do I think these generalizations are fair? No. Do I understand like where some of them come from? Yes, I do. America has not had the best track record in history. I don't necessarily think it's fair for certain generalizations to be put on all Americans, but it comes with the territory. Like when you go to certain places, price spiking is a thing. Price spiking is a thing, especially if they don't really know you, or you know what I'm saying, like you're just coming in and things like that. You're going to get foreigner tax. That's just what it is. So there will be times, like even in my case, when I went to Jamaica, people of course were absolutely lovely, but there was this one instance in Kingston. I had to get my TRN, and let me just tell you something, if looks could kill, I'd be dead. As soon as you open your mouth and they hear the accent, or even sometimes just in the way you dress, like people can tell you are not from there. Off the bat, you know, sometimes you get a certain energy, but do your best. Do try to keep calm. Try to be understanding that yes, this is because Americans, like we have this notion on us. When you're visiting other countries, it's going to take them a little bit of time to warm up to you. So just keep kind, keep courteous, and everything will work out. Another thing to know. Now this one is going to go again for Americans, and when I say Americans, I'm really talking about Black Americans specifically. And I'm going to speak on if you're visiting more Black countries. Like again, I'm talking about Jamaica, but if you're visiting an African country or things like that, or another Caribbean country, so on and so forth. When you go to these places, Black Americans even get a different treatment than white Americans, or you know, different race Americans, and that is something that you're going to have to come to terms with as well. Again, it is not right by any means necessary. If you guys have watched my other video on why I chose Jamaica over Ghana, you will know that I am very abhorrent to the fact that sometimes people from like predominantly Black countries, they will look at Black Americans and be like, almost like this sick'em mentality, like we need to get them, like let's get them for A, B, C, and D. And you will notice that a lot of times they don't really do that with the white people. But that is something that you're going to have to come to terms with. Until people get used to you and they know that, you know, you're there for good reason, or you know, you come with good intention, they're not going to warm up to you in a certain way. So it takes time, it takes patience, it takes care. Sometimes you have to meet people where they are and just kind of go with the flow. So another tip, one thing my mother always taught me, and this is something that I kind of carry as a motto in life in general, you should always leave a place better than you found it. Be cognizant. We don't litter, you know, we don't litter, we don't make messes, we don't just, you know, do all of these things. Be cognizant, keep your place pristine, wherever area. If you're going out for a picnic, clean up after yourself. Do try your best to be cognizant of how you're leaving your areas and your surroundings. So also do get familiar with dress codes, like what's really appropriate. Like, do people walk out certain kind of ways, or do they walk out a different kind of way? It is good to note, like, kind of what is the social norm. You know, is it normal to be loud where you're going, or is it normal to be a bit quiet? Like I say, if you're going to a place like Jamaica, of course don't be ridiculous, but I'm saying like they are a bit more expressive, so it's okay to be, you know, listen to your music and, you know, have a good time and stuff like that. Like they're a very creative, expressive, bold people in general. But like I said, if you go somewhere else, like that might not always be the case. So do keep in mind, like, what is the norm? Like, is it okay to be loud? Is it okay to be, you know, dress a certain way? Is it okay to, you know, A, B, C, and D? Because in knowing that, you can better respect the culture and the way of life. This next tip will be a bit more important if you are someone like me who is going to be moving to another country, where you're going to set up roots and like actually be a part of that ecosystem. So for instance, in Jamaica, what in Jamaica do as the Jamaicans? So when you are coming and let's say you're coming to another country and you're starting to open a business, make sure your market matches the market of the people. Like, I do know that it is a common complaint that I do hear amongst other countries when Americans come over and things of that nature, that we come over, we get stuff, and we raise the price on it. Like we raise the value on it. So just like I don't like when we get price spiked by other countries, I don't like when we come over there and raise a certain cost of living, if that makes sense. Like, their ecosystem is for their cost of living. So for instance, like when I come to Jamaica, of course I do plan on opening businesses and things like that. We'll talk about that in later videos, but my job is not to make something so unaffordable for the ecosystem or make something like that that is so outside of the bracket. No, like my job is to come try to match the prices of the people, what their economy can afford, what the ecosystem that they've built. I'm not coming to make something just so outlandishly drastic. So I will say that too. If you are planning to move to a different country and you're planning to start businesses and things of that nature, please keep the people in mind. Please keep the people in mind. Like, we're not trying to bankrupt them or inflate them, or, you know what I'm saying, like cause inflation and stuff like that. Like, that's not what we're trying to do. Like, try your best. Of course, you know what you're worth, but try to match the budget of the people. Try to match the economy of the people. Try to match the ecosystem of the people. Another concept too, this one's going to be for, again, my Americans or people that may come from a country that's not considered underprivileged. When you're visiting a country, especially one that is considered underprivileged, try your best not to come with the savior complex. Not to come with this kind of mentality that, oh, I'm trying to save the people, or, oh, I need to save the people, and things like that. It's one thing to come to a place and say, oh, okay, well, let me implement this system. This is something that they're doing, but we can make it even better and more efficient. That's one thing. But to come in and kind of imply with this energy or this attitude that, oh, they need saving, like, oh, they don't do it like us, like, we really need to, the A, B, C, and D, like, no. It's the difference between trying to help and be a peer and be a collaborator, and it's one thing to try to act like somebody's savior, if that makes sense. There is a distinction, and I think when you can master that, it will also help a lot in your interactions when you go to these other countries. This goes without saying, but it kind of ties into everything that I've said as well. Be kind, be courteous, be open, be willing to learn, be very teachable. Again, you are a guest. You are a house guest in these people's home. You are a visitor, and it is your job to be the best visitor that you can be. If you are interested in seeing exactly how to buy a house in Jamaica, I do have that video available now, part 1 and 2. And if you guys are wondering why in the world did you decide to move to Jamaica, I have that video out for you guys as well. I do thank you guys for watching this video if you've made it to the end, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.